Good evening, Year 6. I'm back with our second lesson of the week. But before we start the lesson, I want to go through the answer to yesterday's challenge. There were 11 triangles and 17 squares. I wonder how many of you managed to have a go at setting one of those questions up yourself for another member of your family. Okay, let's carry on with the lesson. And today's warm-up activity is a bid mass one again, a little bit more tricky than Monday's. Remember, the order of operations is written down here, so you've got to bear that in mind when you're completing each question. Remember, brackets come before the indices, which in turn come before division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So here we would do the ones in brackets first, the addition one first in brackets, then the subtraction one in brackets, and then multiply the two answers there together. Okay, press pause on your devices and we will then be able to have a go. Just to make it a little bit more easier, I will zoom in so you can see the screen clearly and the questions clearly. Okay, there you go. Press pause on your devices and then I'll go through the answers. Okay, so here are the answers. Have a look. Once again, if you've made any mistakes, go back and try and see where it is that you might have made that error. Okay, and on to today's lesson. Well, all this week we're looking at money problems, and today's in focus task is another problem related to money. What I would like you to do is to look at this question here. Let's zoom in and see what it says. The shop sells jars of honey and honey dippers. Here are the jars of honey, here's a honey dipper. It says that Elliot bought 3 jars of honey and a dipper. The total cost was £5.40, the dipper cost 75p. How much did each jar of honey cost? Press pause on your devices, have a go at answering the question. Is there a way that you could represent this question visually for somebody in a lower year group that might not understand how to answer it? Okay, have a go. Okay, let's have a look and see how I might have answered this one. So for this question, the first thing you've got to do is to take away the cost of the dipper that's here. We don't want to know about that in the question because we're interested in 1 jar of honey. So the first thing you need to do is £5.40 take away 75p. You can do this in 2 ways. Either you can do the £5.40 take away the 75 or the £0.75, or you could do 540 pence take away 75p. That then leaves you with 465 pence. I'm going to put the P sign in there because we need to have the unit of measure. We need to divide that by 3 because this represents the total of the 3 jars of honey. Divide it by 3 and that gives us the answer of 155 pence or £1.55. I haven't demonstrated how to do the short division there because I did that in the last lesson. Okay, let's go on to the guided task for today. So the guided practice, we have this question, and this is a former SATs question, and it was worth 1 mark. It says 1 gram of gold cost £32.94. What is the cost of half a kilogram of gold? I wonder what information you need to know to help you to solve this question. Once again, press pause on your devices and have a go. This question is a little bit sneaky because you need to know what a kilogram is in grams. If you know that, you can solve the problem. If you don't, you're going to struggle. Well, a kilogram is 1,000 grams. A kilo meaning 1,000 kilograms. So if we've got half a kilogram, that's going to be 500 grams. So we know that 1 gram of gold costs £32.94. We've got to have 500 grams. So you could add 32.94, add it together 500 times, but that's going to be a pretty inefficient method. It's one way of doing it, but it would take a long time. An easier method would be to multiply £32.94 by 1,000, which is quite simple to do mentally, or using a place value chart to give you the answer of £32,940. Now that's for 1 whole kilogram, but we need to have half a kilogram, so you simply halve £32,940 to get the answer 16,470. There are other ways of doing this. You could multiply £32.94 by 100 and then multiply that by 5. Or some people might want to just do a formal standard written method, but I think that would probably be, again, a pretty inefficient method. Okay, let's move on to today's independent learning. Now for the independent learning today, I'm going to treat it a little bit more like a lesson. I'm not going to go through the answers, but I will tell you the answers at the end. I'm going to give you the questions and I'm going to zoom in. I'd like you to press pause on your devices, have a go at the question, then go on to the next question, and then on to the final third, or the question 3 that I will put up onto the board. At the end then, I will give you the answers. So here is question 1. Press pause on your devices and have a go. Okay, if you've now done that, you can go on to question 2, which will be on the next slide. Press pause on your devices, have a go at question 2. Okay, if you've done that, now go on to question 3, which is on the next slide. This question here has 2 marks associated with it, and as with the other 2 questions, they are all from previous SATs papers. Okay, I'm now going to press on to the next slide, which will give you the answers, and you'll be able to see how you've got on. So question 1A was 9, B was 45%, question 2, £302.27, and the last one, 2 marks for the answer of £5.75. If you have done the workings correctly and made one small arithmetic error, you can still get 1 mark. Okay, that's our learning over for today. I just want to click onto the next slide, which is for your learning tomorrow. Now we've practiced all of the strategies. What I would like you to do is to pick 5 questions from here that you would like to have a go at. And then I would like you to look at the next slide, what the answers might be. Alternatively, another way of doing this is to see how many questions you can complete in a certain amount of time. I would suggest between 15 minutes and half an hour. How many could you complete in 15 minutes? It'd be really interesting then to see if you've got some mental strategies that could assist in your formal written methods. Okay, I'm now going to ask you to have a go at these for the next lesson. I'll put the slide on for the answers, which you can see. This is also, or both, all the questions have been put onto the website, so you should be able to download them or look at them through a PDF file on your devices. Okay, and here are the answers. Thanks for now. I'll be back on Friday with the final lesson of this week. Goodbye for now.